Now, the discussion of noise reduction is a lot larger than you would think it would be. There's several places that you can do noise reduction. Number one is in camera, and I absolutely recommend that you not use any noise reduction functions that are inherent in some of the later model DSLRs. Turn off all of the high ISO noise reduction functions in your camera, all of the long exposure noise reduction functions in your camera, because they are absolutely horrible. They do more to degrade your image than to enhance anything. More to the point, it drains battery. It also delays processing of the image within the camera. Then you can do sharpening in your RAW converter. And Capture One, good as it is, much as I use it, I've used it for 6-7 years, the results that I get out of Capture One are absolutely ridiculously good. However, it is very poor in noise reduction. So you can do that. Now, the other thing you can do is in Photoshop. Probably a lot of people didn't even know that it did noise reduction, and it's horrible. I just don't understand how come Adobe has completely ignored this function within Photoshop when everything else about Photoshop is unbelievably good. Noise reduction is horrible. Stay away from it. But just so you can know how horrible it is, let's take a look. We go to Filter, and we go to Noise, and here you can add noise if you want to for a special effect, but when it comes to reducing noise, oh my goodness, it is so bad it's indescribable. Okay, here we have a noisy image, and if we grab the strength bar and move it all the way over here, now you tell me if you see anything, because I don't. It is just not there. Preserve details. I've run these, I can't tell you how many times before I began to record this lesson, and I couldn't make anything do anything. Be honest with you, I've never used this function in Photoshop. But what little that I can get out of it is all it's doing is really reorganizing the noise and making it look different than it did originally out of the camera, which in my mind is worse than not doing anything at all. So here's the per channel, and this is where it gets just a tiny bit better. There's a lot of noise in the red and blue channels in most color images. So let's do this. I'm still not seeing anything. Okay, let's go down to blue and see what's going on over there, and we'll run this all the way up to the top. Yeah, I think we can do a lot better, quite honestly. And you know, I didn't want this course to evolve into a course on plugins, because there's just an ocean of plugins that I use with Photoshop on a daily basis. The Photoshop industry, and believe me, Photoshop is an industry, has produced some really, really incredible plugins, and I use them all the time, from Nix Software, from Topaz. There's a number of others. Photomatix is one that we use for HDR photography, and so on. So that's another course for another time. We're looking exclusively in Photoshop right now, but when it comes to getting rid of noise, which is a very important part of processing your image, you're forced to go to a plugin. So here we go with reducing noise in Photoshop, which is absolutely horrible. So don't use it. Just say no. Now, if you want to use noise reduction plugins, there are two that most people use, and we'll take a look at those right now. And this is Neat Image. This is what I've been using for a very long time. It's very good. The thing I don't like about Neat Image is that the website and the installation procedure is ridiculously complicated. Every time I have to get a new computer, I've got to download this, communicate with the company, find my old serial numbers, nothing matches up. The navigation within this website is absolutely abysmal. I can't imagine who designed this, because it's just not good. I know I'm sounding terribly negative in this lesson, but you just need to know the truth about some things. Now, the product itself is great. If you can figure out the website and how to get things installed and so on, then more power to you. Once it is installed, once it does work correctly, it is absolutely great. Now, the other one that most people use is Noise Ninja. It's not quite so of a pain to download and install, but it has its moments. So, Noise Ninja, Neat Image for noise reduction. I don't have them installed in this version of CS6. We were in such a hurry to get into production with this, I never really installed them. Noise reduction is noise reduction. Don't want this to be a lesson on plugins. I want it to be a lesson in Photoshop. So go to Neat Image or go to Noise Ninja, download. They're not that expensive, and what you get is ridiculously good, because they do a tremendous job. Of course, much better than Photoshop. So download them, install them, and start using them, and I think you'll find that, indeed, you will agree with me that this is the only way to get rid of noise.